As I've had the privilege of sharing Pray for One in lots of different places at different times, there's been a few things that have popped up that have been common realities that I've encountered. Two questions that I get asked almost everywhere I go and share Pray for One is question number one, what if you don't know anyone who doesn't know Jesus? Now that's an interesting question to me that is probably more of an indictment on the way we've been doing church as a culture for a long time. People are actually kind of convinced that they don't know anyone. And that's crazy. Of course you know one. So you know all kinds of people who are struggling or, exploring their faith or aren't sure about who Jesus is. You just probably haven't been really paying attention. And so when you pray for one of the things that happens is you start to pay attention and you start to really be aware of who you're talking to and you see people differently than you have before. And that's a powerful thing. The second part of that, though, is you know what? We have ones. And praying for one is not an individual thing. It's meant to be a communal prayer of faith. And that's where praying for one really finds its power, is when as a community, the family of God, we are sharing in a similar heartbeat, not only with one another, but most importantly with God. And we're praying for one. And so if we're doing community together, the church together, and I have ones, well, my ones are your ones too. And so we share in that together. So we do have ones. The second thing I get asked is, well, how do you close the deal? Yeah, they want some kind of magic formula for, all right, let's say I get one. Some guy gives me someone who doesn't know him. How do I lead them from this point to that point? What are the magic words? Ibbity bobbity boop. Well, you know what? There aren't any magic words. There's tools you can use. There's things that are out there that you can utilize. But really the reality is you don't close the deal. It's not about that. The Holy Spirit does His work, and He moves through you, and He moves through me, and He moves through His church, His family. And so we are sharing in this together. You see, the reality of praying for one is it is no solo operation. Praying for one is meant to be done in community. And so God is revealed through the worship of His people. So when we show up for a worship service and we participate and we sing and we exalt Him and we enter into His presence and we respond to Him by saying, there you are, God, and God, you are greater than me. God's showing Himself through that. And so if one of my ones happens to be in that space at that time and you're worshiping in that way, well, now you are helping to show God's love to this one. And that person is our one, and we are sharing God's love with that one. Guys, I'm really excited about the year that we're in. Our church is praying for one every day and sharing our ones with each other, but we're also going to fast and pray on the 20th of each month for one. And so I love that as a church, we are going to do a communal 24-hour fast. We're going to fast from food and pray. And we're going to ask God together, God, please give us one person to share your love with. And as we do that, I can't wait to see what God does with a church. Thousands of people who are joining together in prayer 24 hours and fasting to pray for one. It's going to be amazing. And so as you think about praying for one, don't go at this alone. I know in our individualized minds where we think everything is about us and we're isolated and going solo. That's not God's plan for you. God's plan is to use you in community with His church to reach all kinds of ones, and you get to be a part of building His kingdom. So let's go, church. Let's do this together.